What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about something that is pretty relevant to the time right now, and that is going to be why you should elope. So y'all know I eloped last year, July 7th in Kauai with my husband and our closest family and friends.
It was glorious. It was amazing.
Fantastic. I highly recommend it. And so we'll kind of talk about how we got to that point. So we got engaged in Kauai on July 6, 2018 on our 5-year anniversary together. And I immediately came home. I had this whole, we all have our vision board on Pinterest and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do it, in Temecula because that's close in the San Diego region. So we went up there, we went to a couple wedding venues, and we got the price estimates. And, it's $30,000 for a basic wedding with rice, not rice, wine, alcohol, but not real liquor, first off. And, sorry, dog hair. And it's just a lot of money for one day. So, I had this whole thing in my head. I had booked an appointment. Okay, so I found the wedding venue. We loved it. We got a price quote. I took it back to my dad because traditionally the bride's father pays for the wedding, and my dad went up there with me and my little sister, and it just wasn't in the cards financially for us to be able to afford that. So honestly, my heart was freaking broken because of course the people at the wedding venues are salesmen. They're like, someone's gonna get your date, calling you, you gotta put a deposit down, and it honestly was so much anxiety on top of school, and there's just so many things that go on. So I was pretty freaking bummed at that point, and I was like, you know what, it's just gonna be off, whatever, we're just not gonna do it. So, I kind of put that in the back of my head, and then we had talked about just eloping because we both, have family issues here and there, and just the stress of inviting everyone to a wedding. You have to accommodate their boyfriend who you've never met or their girlfriend of 1 week and all these things when it's $2.50 a plate. Not gonna happen in our fucking pocket. So we talked about eloping, and it was first just me and him in Kauai because it's a place we both love. I've been there since I was 6 months old. Every year my parents had their honeymoon there, so that was just a really special place in my heart, and his mom's best friend lives there, Iris, who we love, who we'll get to later, and she was there when we got engaged, and she actually ended up being the person that married us. So we love Iris. Iris, if you're watching this, we love you so much, and thank you for everything you do for us. And so, you can see the smile on my face about Kauai. It was the best decision, one of the best decisions that we've ever made. But, one of my friend's dads passed away. I've actually had multiple friends' dads pass away. And I just thought about it, my dad's here, I'm the first girl to get married, and I would feel terrible. Everyone knows me and my dad's relationship, if I didn't have my dad at my wedding to walk me down the aisle. So, change of course. I remember we went out to coffee one morning, me, my dad, and Sammy, and I told him, no, we want to, do a small, okay, sit down. Okay, Mr. Ramsey's going to join. So, we're going to do a small wedding of just a couple people, and I obviously want my dad to be there. So, of course, he cried. If you know my dad, if you're at our wedding party, you know my dad's a crier. So, and then, honestly, that was probably around, I think, February or March, because I was in my lab class, and I was on the computer looking at different eloping companies in Kauai. Now, I called probably about 5 of them, and they ranged from $200 to $20,000, just depending on what you wanted. So, I called a couple of them, looked at their pictures, and I'm really big into pictures. If y'all don't notice on my Instagram or anything, I've had professional pictures done my whole fucking life because my mom is a photographer. So, there's a certain caliber that I want. If I'm going to pay for something, it needs to be there. So, the packages that they were giving out for the money it was just kind of that's not really what I want to do. And one day I had, one day came across Modern Elopements, and I'll put their little thing here, and they helped us out tremendously. So one thing with elopements is they're extremely cheaper than weddings, obviously, because you're not feeding 100 people and doing all that, and so it was totally in our price range to do. My dad was 100%, no problem, it's done. And yeah, Modern Elopements here. And, oh my god, I'm so space-brained in this video. This is terrible. Okay, so I'm in my lab class, and I'm emailing back and forth with the owners of Modern Elopement. They were super helpful with everything. You pick your flowers, they set up everything, and so you pick your location. So I was going back and forth between, there's a Princeville location, and there's one in Poipu. So we ended up actually getting married in the Poipu Botanical Gardens, which is friggin' amazing. And I will insert all the photos here, and I'll put them at the end as well. And it was honestly the best decision that we ever made. So let's talk about, you know, some cons with elopement. First off, you can't invite everyone. I think it's a blessing in disguise because, you know what, you want to be able to enjoy your day. You do not want to be dealing with, you know, who didn't grab this or the stress. You want to enjoy your wedding day. And that's one thing that I will say with our elopement is that I remember every single detail, and that was one of the best days of my life, 100%. So the cons, it kind of goes hand in hand. You don't have to worry about people. You don't have to worry about inviting a bunch of people. So that goes hand in hand. With family, if you have family issues like we've had in the past and just whatever, like it's so much easier to just pick a couple people. And like there will be friends that got mad. I had a couple, but it has to understand it's like a financial reason, so it really has nothing to do like with trying to be mean to you at all in any way, shape, or form. It was just, I can't afford a $50,000 to $100,000 wedding for one day. I'd rather have a down payment on a house. That's just my perspective. But, you know, I'm so glad that we did it this way. It was the best thing that you could do for you and it's your day. At the end of the day, it's your day. It's not your family's day. It's not this day. And that was one thing that I loved, is that it's like, you know, I got to choose this. Like it was what we wanted, mainly what I wanted because obviously I'm the bride, but just like flowers and just relaxing. I did not want a stressful day. I don't want to worry about if someone got yelled at or this or that. No. Like if you don't want to show up to the table, you don't have to be there. Like that's kind of the vibe. And we just had the best freaking day. Like there's just nothing like you and your husband and your closest family and friends in the middle of the botanical gardens in Kauai. It was absolutely gorgeous. Now, let's talk about the most important part, your photographer. Shout out to Katie Iredale. She's the best. She did our engagement photos and she flew out and did our wedding photos. Let me talk to you about someone who is just the most amazing photographer. And like I said, my mom is a photographer, so I grew up with like a certain style that I loved and just like the passion behind the picture and all that stuff. So that was something that was super important to me. And I was a little worried about asking her because I was like, oh my God, it's like 3 months away and I'm asking you to do, you know, our pictures. And she was amazing. She was right on board and we've had so much fun together since. She was so much fun on vacation. Talking about having a friend on vacation. Like, when are we going back to Hawaii? Like, she was freaking awesome. So you want to make sure your photographer, one, like she talks about, has extra equipment. What if your battery was to die? What if your camera was to go out, your lens? Like, pay attention to that when you get a photographer. I'm going to list all her information down here. If you are looking for someone to do your hey, damn dog, any type of pictures, she is the person to talk to. She is freaking amazing. So Miss K. Ardell, love her. So she was honestly like having just another sister around, and she captured some of the moments. Like we stayed at the Princeville Hotel because that's where I used to go as a kid, and it was just like a really magical place for me because I used to go there for my parents got divorced. So coming back there as an adult, getting married there was like really magical for me. So she came out multiple days and took a bunch of pictures of like me and my family out there. And I'll post like, this one was when I was like, like 13. And then this one is from obviously 2019. So it's pretty cool to have like, you know, longer distance, 8-year difference? I think so, one of those, we'll put it in there. But Steve is a kid, Steve is an adult. Pretty fucking fantastic. And she just captured the best moments of like me and my dad at Brennicke's, where my dad used to go with his dad. Like, all these things matter. Your pictures matter on your day. If you're gonna skip out on anything, do not have it be your photographer. Okay, so now we've touched on that. I'm gonna say it again. Katie Ardell, the best. Listing information here. Back to eloping. First off, or no, let's see. I think the last thing I talked about was photographer. So now let's move into the dress. So my dress I got from Posh Brides, downtown Carlsbad. Shout out to Nedra. Amazing service. My dress is absolutely gorgeous. I still have it. Bobby. Randy! So my dress was amazing. Don't skip out on your dress either. I mean, my God. Because it's you and your husband, your dress, and your photographer. That's what you need to worry about on your elopement day. Okay, so after the dress, then the place where we got married. Who? Botanical Gardens. Absolutely amazing. So, your location matters for your elopement, obviously. But you know what? I'm just going to tell all that stuff no matter where you want to get married, in the middle of nowhere, in here, if you want to go freaking out of the U.S., do it. It's your day. People are going to judge you no matter what you do. If you have a $100,000 wedding, wow, she's so expensive. Or if you have a $2,000 elopement. Everyone's got something to say no matter what the hell you're doing, so do something you like to do. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention, which I don't know why, but, so, the whole game plan was our eloping, and then obviously we wanted to have a huge party with everyone. So, my Aunt Virginia and Uncle Bob, shout out to you guys, thank you so much, threw us a phenomenal wedding party. And this way we could celebrate with all our friends and all our family, and then it was, you know, not flying to Kauai. It was up just, you know, 30 minutes north of where we live. So it was honestly phenomenal. My dad ended up getting us a large party bus that everyone, or like, you know, charter bus, I guess I'd say. It's not a party bus when I'm in friggin' high school. So a big charter bus to take everyone from where we live. That way no one was drunk driving or anything like that. We all got to like have our little like moments together. It was one of the best experiences. So took us up and back. That way again, no one was drunk driving. And then we got to cut the cake because that's something that we didn't get to do because we eloped. But honestly, that was the best thing. We got to, we actually came down, at my aunt's house, they have like a cool koi pond and everything. So we came down the stairs. We actually dressed up in our in my wedding dress, and then him in a tuxedo. And then my dad went to her, tux. And it was just so much fun. Like, we just had a great time. So if you are thinking about eloping, but you're worried about like other friends and family and stuff like that, go elope close. Everyone who's super close to you. Like, I have my best friend Tiff. Love you, Tiff. Thank you for being the best freaking elopement maid of honor, and just maid of honor in general. She's just the best. And then have a big party with everybody to celebrate, where it's a little bit more relaxed. It doesn't have to be so on schedule. And I think that's another thing was big with elopements. You're on like a little bit of a schedule because it's like your space is rented out. Like, we can only be at the botanical garden for a certain time because our permit expired because it's privately owned, obviously. But it's just a great time to relax and enjoy and see everybody. And what we did too is we got a big frame, and so we had our wedding pictures. I think, I'll show you in a second. And everyone got to sign the outside of the frame at our wedding party since they didn't get to sign it when we actually got married. So, and we had that September 16th, so just like a couple months after we got married. And it was so fun to be able to relive the day again. So, but my kind of recap on why you should elope. 1, financially, it's so much cheaper. 2, you don't have to deal with your drama level for that day is about you. So if you make it dramaful, it will be, but if you don't, it's not going to be. And 3, it's just all around a more intimate experience with you and your spouse. You get to enjoy your day. You're going to remember that day of you two and the memories you two made. You're not going around to each table going, hi, da-da-da, where you literally never even got to see your spouse on that day. Like, it is so much better. Like, I'm just saying. That's your style, nothing wrong with it. But if you want to enjoy your day with your spouse and not be exhausted, like the next day, like I was honestly sad the next day because we had such a good time. And it was just a phenomenal experience. If we could do it all over again, we would, the exact same way. I probably wouldn't change a damn thing. But, so that, and then just overall happiness of your day and how you're going to start your life with your partner. Like, this is a huge day, and you want it to be enjoyable. That's the biggest thing with elopements, is that you want everything to be enjoyable, from your food to your dress. Like, I did my own hair and makeup, and it was an awesome friggin' day. It was also like 90% humidity or something ridiculous, but you know what? That's a day that I will always treasure, and I 100% eloping is the way to go. If you have any questions, leave them under the comments below. I'm gonna tag the Modern Elopements and Miss Katie Iredale, because she is the best. I just love her so much. And I still talk to her like almost probably at least once a week on Instagram or all that stuff, because she's just so freaking cool. So yeah. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know down below. But otherwise, I hope, you know, the best for anyone who had to cancel their wedding this, you know, tough season and everything like that. But if eloping is on your mind, I highly recommend it. You will enjoy your day so much more. All right, thanks for coming by, guys. See you in the next one.